for the first time here in 2024. So let's get going. I have Maria Hickman with Berkshire Hathaway, one of my absolute favorite real estate partners currently in our market, rocking and rolling with all of our clients. I'm going to bring her in here in just a minute. Let me go ahead and just update the title of our stream real quick. Actually, I can probably leave it first time home buyer. That's fine. So if you're here, please let us know in the chat. Say hello, drop us a line. Let us know if you have any questions. Maria and I here, of course, are here to provide some value for you guys, of course, but to also be a resource for you, answer questions, and as your local experts here in the community, both on the real estate mortgage side, to put you in a position to win. So let's bring Maria in. There she is. What's
Hello.
up?
How are you?
I'm great.
Hold on,
Happy
let me
to.
go, let me mute
No,
really fast because my
you're good.
dogs are going. Hold on.
You're good. You're good. Gotta love the dogs. I think mine is maybe possibly asleep in her bed currently, but
I wish mine would do that. I'm gonna shut my door.
yeah,
I'll be
I
back.
haven't. Yeah, yeah, you're good. All right. So yeah, again, I appreciate you guys popping in. If you are here, please leave us something in the chat. Let us know that you're here and say hello. Are you back? I think you might still be muted.
I am back.
There you go. Yeah, my Chihuahua is an old lady. She is 14.
Oh,
So I don't even know what that is in doggy years. It's like 130. So she's just chilling. Yeah, she's hanging out.
that's
So
awesome. Mine are still very young and puppy and just hyper.
ooh,
So
nice. They're probably so fun to take for walks. Are they big? What kind of dog are
one
they?
is big, one's Labradoodles, and one
Okay.
is like 50 pounds, and then the other one is like 18 pounds. So the 50 pounder is very hard to walk
Mm-hmm.
because she's crazy. And
Right.
as much as I try to not make her crazy, she's just crazy. So she's not
Are
fun to walk.
are they hypoallergenic?
Yeah,
Oh, so
they
they
don't
don't shed?
shed. Mm-mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my only thing. My wife is, we had a Shih Tzu that unfortunately we had to put down last year. But um, if and when we get a new dog, I am hoping that we're able to get something hypoallergenic that doesn't shed because
Yeah.
dang, dude. Yeah, my parents have two
Well,
Labradors and one German Shepherd, and it's ridiculous.
I can't even imagine the hair that they must have to pick up all the time. Oh my word.
Yep.
Mm.
Pretty crazy. Okay, so we wanted to have our first conversation of 2024 just to kind of open up. Okay, this is the new year. This is where we're heading. This is what we want to focus on. We're going to take like maybe 30 minutes, just chat a little bit about some top of mind focus stuff for whether you're a first time home buyer or whether you're buying your millionth house in the market right now. But just some top of mind stuff. Then we'll talk about some quick, fun family stuff. But where is your attention kind of leaning towards right now the most, would you say, right now in the market, Maria?
With my, you mean between buyers and sellers or just
Just in general, because I
in
feel
general?
like my business since the beginning of December has been heavily focused on, for whatever reason, first time home buyers that are being introduced into the market here before the tax season. So like sometime between beginning of December to the end of March, it seems like I have a lot of movement from people that are, okay, this is the time. I'm not going to let another year go by, and I'm at least going to start considering trying to own a house, as because I feel like the market in just the last couple of years with COVID and then the interest rates, just everyone's talking about real estate. So
Yeah.
it's making people kind of FOMO a little bit. And this last year or so, rates have been so high where it pushed them out of the market. So as they're starting to come down, as rates are becoming more affordable, starting to cool down, it's bringing up a lot more conversation with these first time home buyers. But
It is too, and it's the rates are still not low enough quite yet to where people who own homes that have those 3 and 4% rates are wanting to go buy another home right now. So,
right.
I think we are seeing a lot more first-time home buyers just because of the climate and, it is a great time to jump on, board and purchase a home right now because rates, it's so relative. Rates are not bad,
Hmm.
and I think they are just going to hopefully continue to get better, but they're not bad. 7, 6%. That's not a bad rate.
Yeah,
And
not for affordability. Yeah, I think especially
mm-mm,
as you start pushing into the sixes and fives too, you'll see a lot more people. Just the problem with rates, I think, was just like not being able to qualify because of where that rate pushes the payment to versus where income levels were.
right.
So in Clark County in our community exactly, it was starting to get a little shaky as you start pushing into the mid sevens, high sevens, because a lot of especially single person households or single income households just had a tough time. So you had to be
Yeah.
a little bit more creative with non occupant co borrowers or roommate qualifying as an occupant co borrower. There's obviously other avenues that we can venture down and try to take advantage of or allow someone to qualify with, but it just made it more difficult.
Yes, absolutely.
Um,
That's where your expertise and creativity comes in.
yeah, I mean, I feel like and this is also too on the borrower side. I feel like knowledge is power, right? So when you work with someone that's truly an expert in their field or understands exactly what they're doing front to back and understands guideline specific stuff, which is in our end, as you know, in the mortgage world, what we are for the most part underwriting these files to, right, are very specific guidelines from either Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, government sponsored entities, et cetera, that tell us realistically what we can and can't do. Right. And then
Mhm,
from there, you can get more creative or have other products available, but you have to work with someone that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
how I can't, shake left if I don't even know how to go right or like where the destination is. You know what I mean? So,
I think that's a
um,
really good point, and it's one of the, things that people really need to understand is that when you're working with a mortgage broker, they
mhm,
want to get the loan done for you, and you
yes.
need to tell them everything so that
Mhm,
they can go and sort everything out and say, "Okay, this is how we're gonna do this is how we're gonna do this," to make it all happen, but I have found too, a lot of times they're afraid to tell
yes.
the person helping them with the mortgage, and then that just leads to all sorts of problems at the very end. Where if they would have just spilled it all out, don't be afraid to tell them everything because that's what your job is to figure it out, even with
Yeah.
knowing everything. So,
Yeah, 100% agree. That's actually part of my first time, my initial consultation and conversation that I have with potential clients, and that's part of the conversation is to build that trust factor and knowing that no, please, by all means, tell me everything possible from the very beginning. You know what I mean? There should not be any secrets or things that I don't know, not because I personally, on a personal level, want to know everything, but because professionally, the more that I know, the better. The less
mhm,
likelihood that we have of the one thing that you never want to have in any type of financial transaction or someone trying to help you qualify to buy a house or anything like that is a surprise. I cannot have surprises because you don't want to be, you don't want to set yourself up for disappointment. So the more information that I have, the more information you disclose from the very beginning, and the more that I know from front to back, easier that process will be.
yeah,
However, if I don't know what to look for, right, on my end of the equation, if I don't know what to look for, if I don't know what those surprises could be, if I don't know what those those hurdles or roadblocks might, lead us to, then you might not be comfortable divulging. You might not even think to ask it. So there's a bunch of different like dominoes that need to be knocked down from the very, very beginning that are so, so easy. It just avoids like weeks and months of headache and torture if you do not do those things. You know what I mean?
yes. Yep,
So, awesome.
I've dealt with it, so I totally understand what you're saying. It's just
Mhm.
I do think people are they're not doing it to not tell you, it's just they're afraid. They don't wanna hear
Yeah.
the, "No, I can't get approved," but really they just have to understand that you're gonna do you don't get paid unless they get approved, so
Yeah.
you wanna get them approved.
Yeah, most people and this is just pulling myself outside of my professional role as, of course, a, mortgage loan originator, but you would think, right, if you were to go to somebody and try to qualify for something and they don't ask you for something specifically or give you an opportunity to be fully transparent, are you going to be? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I should, maybe, but if the person on the other end of the desk or on the other end of the phone call is telling you to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need, you know, be 100% transparent. I'm only here to help. There is no downside or negative to it. It's only positive. I feel like it starts building that trust factor between the client and the person on our end, on the professional end, to set them up for success. And, truthfully, just like you said, I mean, it's a lot different when you work with a mortgage broker, somebody that's in my role, where again, we're independent. We work as an advocate for the buyer, for the consumer, and we're truly trying to help them accomplish their goal through succeeding via purchasing or refinancing or what have you. I don't get paid an hourly salary, anything until they get to their end goal, right?
Mhm.
Until you actually get into that house, until that loan is funded and finished, there is no paycheck for me. So I have 1000% commitment into each and every one of my clients to make sure that they can succeed on both a personal and professional level, obviously, right? So
Yep.
it just depends on, who you choose to work with, of course, because you're going to get different results based on that exact equation. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
sweet. Okay. So tell me a little bit about how do you start your year usually, kind of in the beginning of a year as a business professional? Like, do you have like a game plan for what the next quarter you want it to look like, or the next by the summer, or by the end of the year, or how do you like goal set for the year? I'm curious.
Yeah, so that is during Christmas and New Year's, I take the entire time off unless I have deals that are going that I need to be there for. But I really unplug from social media. I unplug from
Same.
everything, and I just set the goals that I have. Decide whether or not, like the farms that I'm doing right now, if I want to continue with those, if I want to switch it up a little bit, if I want to switch up my marketing. Do I want to
Hmm.
still do postcards? How do I want to engage with clients? Do I want to do events versus, spending I kind of allocate where my money is going to go for marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, and so I did a lot of that during the week of Christmas break. And so I'm set. I feel like I'm in a good spot for 2024. I've got some good goals that I want to meet. And yeah, I'm excited. I think 2024, it's like I set my goals, but in the back of my mind, I have this really good feeling that it's going to be even more than what I'm setting, because I just feel like this market's going to go crazy in the spring, and I'm
Right.
super excited for it. So
Yeah, I do think that that's definitely going to be the case this year specifically. I started last year in 2023 saying that it was the year of opportunity, and which for all of our buyers that did get homes and did succeed in purchasing their property, they got so much in opportunity and incentive from the seller side, but it wasn't as active as I thought it would have been because of where rates ended up, kind of drifting off to in the summer season. So I do think 2024 over the course of the full year is going to be a lot more advantageous for a larger pool of people, because more people will just inevitably be able to either qualify comfortably, just be they've waited long enough, basically. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The only part of that is that makes me a little bit nervous for those that, at the very least, that you need to be prepared. Okay, like you're always saying too with our clients and our, shoppers, is we need to at the very least make sure that you're qualified, prepared, and ready to go, regardless of what the timeline looks like. Because if you wait until June, July, or August and you need to be in there by September, it's not going to be a great time for you, considering how active we're anticipating the market being this summer season. Would
right.
you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. Always
Um,
get, if it's even in the back of your mind that you might be purchasing a house in 2024, just the thought of it,
yeah,
get with your real estate team and just get everybody on the same page. From a lender standpoint, get a pre-approved so you know for sure there's nothing on your credit, there's nothing for down payment, there's nothing that's kind of outstanding that you can't be working on. And then from a realtor standpoint, you want that realtor to start sending you homes now that are what you think are in your criteria, so that you can watch the market trend. Because if what I think is going to happen happens, and again, it's just my opinion of 23 years in the business, but if it's going to happen, we're going to start to see homes go up again. And
right.
don't you want to grab that house before that trend starts to get out of control again? Like, just watch. If the house that you're watching, all of a sudden, that same exact model just sells for 10,000 more the following month, that would be an indication to me that you better get out there and start looking before it goes 20,000 over what you were originally looking. So I just think having your real estate team in place, ready to go at least 6 months, if not a year in advance, is a very smart and wise financial thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. And that's I like to tell people too. There's never a too early. You know what I mean? You can never have a conversation with someone too early in the discovery process if you're trying to become a homeowner. Okay, whether you are trying to become a homeowner next month, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, or by the end of the year, that conversation that you have with the what ideally is an expert on the other end that understands all of the moving parts of what you're going to need to make happen should be able to put a blueprint together for you that would be good indefinitely, right? So as long as your income, employment, assets, and credit doesn't change or improves to this or what have you, then you would have this runway to go for, you know, forever, essentially, as long as all of that information stays the same, much like my pre approval letters, right? So, as we're putting together an actual pre approval for a client, we're reviewing all of the items, we're taking a look at credit, we're putting all of these pieces of the puzzle together for them. And a lot of people ask me, well, how long is my pre approval good for? And I'll say, well, technically speaking, you don't have to refresh a credit report until the 121st day. So, technically, that's the answer. But that would require then from the 121st day and beyond a credit refresh to repull the report. But as long as everything remains the same, then that pre approval will be good indefinitely because, again, we have put together the scenario that works, right? We're not guessing. We're not waiting to collect anything or fill in any of the boxes that a lot of times people do on the other side of the trend, on your purchase, meaning okay, now I have an accepted offer. Now I'm in escrow, and now it's time for me to look at my pay stubs and W-2s. And I'm like, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you never got a bank statement from me. Okay, great. You never checked
Yeah.
my credit. You only did us like, just be prepared, have a conversation, work with somebody that you have a little bit of a trust factor with, and that you respect enough to be able to put that together for you. So,
Yeah. That's great advice. Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, we actually already did that a few times just at the end of December. So you had a couple people that were still kind of on the fence and they had been inquiring about purchasing. Actually, one specifically, I guess, had tried to, I think it was the year before, was it in
The
2022?
22, I think.
Yeah, he had mentioned that he was trying to buy a house. He was in the process of buying a house. It wasn't you on the real estate side that was helping. It was another realtor too, right?
Yeah.
Because this particular client had told me, I guess he had gotten to the like midway point of in a transaction and was short funds to close of like
And
a few $1,000s that like supposedly didn't allow him to get into that home or close on a deal, which doesn't
how
make
does
much sense.
anybody let that happen?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it was, you know, and that sets a precedent for the client because the client just assumes and expects that that's what is going to happen to him every time because
Right.
he's now been let down from this exact situation. So please, please make sure that who you guys are working with, they're the right people. They're the experts. Who you partner with mattering is real, is a real thing, because this is it like haunts me in mind every time I talk to this guy. It was like $3,000, $4,000. That's all I needed. I'm like, dang, dude, that's crazy. Like,
We would have figured it out. If it was
you can
our team, it would not have happened that
Oh,
way.
wow, yeah. So, yeah, don't set yourself up for disappointment, you know what I mean? Do a little homework, work with some experts, people that really truly care about your end goal and putting you into, that that home of your dreams. So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. What about builder community? So, are you still seeing this last year the hot topic and what everyone, of course, has been talking about is some of these builder communities having either standing inventory or upcoming inventory being made available with a very large amount of seller or builder incentives to be purchasing these homes for buyers that would qualify for their in-house lending programs, what have you. Are you still seeing that?
Yeah, it's not as much as it was. They're starting to back away from it, but there is some of them that are still out there. And then, you also see some of the builders just they're not giving anything anymore. It's just, here's our lender, go check them out. And maybe there's some closing cost that is a little incentive, but not like how it was before.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the 2024 year with the home builders and how they adjust with the market if the rates do go down like they're supposed to be going down. It's going to be really interesting to see how they tackle that. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're still out there. They're still available, but not in all communities like they were before.
Nice. I would be interested to see actually, I should actually try to get some data on this, but have you like seen any like because I know that you can see how many permits that each builder is pulling with the county or whatever. Do you ever look into that kind of stuff? Because I'm curious how much inventory might be coming online here for the spring, summer, or fall season with these builders.
Yeah, no, I have not. I have not done the research on that, so I don't know.
I think last time when I looked was like maybe 6 months ago or so. One of my real estate partners said that they didn't have permits being pulled for what would then be here this coming spring or July. So
Oh, wow.
who knows? We will see what inventory looks like with these builder communities. I myself, so when I have a client that comes to me, and this happens actually quite often, because I'm lucky to have a nice, healthy amount of real estate partnerships here in our community. So they're always going to be trying to send me, or at least have these initial conversations with me as the preferred lender, right? And then when we have these buyers start going through the pre-approval process, then they want to look at new builds, and then they start kind of digging into some of these new build projects that have these different incentive programs available to them, which are only available to them if they use their in-house lender. I encourage them to take advantage of them. You know what I mean? Which, again, to reiterate, I do not make a salary. I don't make an hourly. I don't get anything unless I help someone get into a house. But I'm always going to be advocating for my client's best interest and the members of our community, making sure that they, if they're able to, take advantage of the best possible opportunity. Because with these builder communities, what they're offering a lot of times is something that you cannot compete with. Okay, it's impossible to compete with a builder that's offering you $30,000 in closing costs to then buy a rate down, which again the closing costs are coming from the price of the built, the house that they built, yada yada yada, right? The first question I always ask, kind of as a joke, is, well, why do you even have $30,000 in closing costs? Because that itself
Yeah,
just doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
But a lot of that is coming from them buying a rate down by, you know, 4 or 5 full percentage points, which in a regular traditional, what we would call qualified mortgage world, you cannot even do. So there's a whole bunch of things, right? But if it's possible, if there's incentives to go get, if it's going to get you a 4.899% interest rate, go get it.
yeah,
Just make sure that you have an out and you have an ability to pivot if and when that lender or builder partner isn't able to get you qualified, because they're a little bit more of just a transactional type of experience. I don't know if you've seen that or you've
yeah.
experienced anything like that, but
Absolutely. There's not the relationship building that I've seen you do with your clients. And
right.
and some people, they don't care about that.
Yeah,
They want the
100%, that's
lowest
fine.
rate, they want the best deal, and that's totally fine. But I think the important thing is to remember, as long as you're okay with it, that's great. But the money is not free. It's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And, if it's a great deal at the time, but here's also, I think people don't know that with new home builds, contracts can be negotiated. Just because the price says something does not mean that that's what you're going to pay with the builder. If you have an agent who's willing to go in and negotiate on your behalf, knowing that they have the padding there because they're going to offer the in-house lending discount of 30,000, and
Right.
you go in and say, "Hey, look, my client's not really interested in using your in-house lender. How about at instead of 430, we're going to bring an offer of 410." And you say it's not set in stone. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, it can always be negotiated. And I think a lot of people think with new home builds, there is no negotiation. And then that's just not true. But it's just like anything. Nothing is free.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why they have you there, Maria. Make sure that you go. You do not step foot into that builder community without a licensed realtor. Otherwise, yikes.
Yep.
Good luck.
I've
Um,
heard some horror stories.
for sure. So always make sure you go with a licensed realtor and they have your back, because yeah, you don't want to go through that experience. And
Yeah.
I did also want to touch on that too, because although again, as a local mortgage broker here in our community, again, always advocating for the clients, there's actually a few different scenarios where clients of mine either get referred to me or they come to me themselves for specific scenarios that I actually will advocate for an alternative option to them. One is the builder thing. Okay. If you're going to a builder, they're, only offering their incentives specific to their in-house lender. I'm always going to say, go grab it, go take advantage of it. Here's what you need to do. Call me if you need any help. I'm here to fall back on if we need to, but definitely go and take advantage of that while it's available. That's one option. Another is HELOCs, home equity line of credit, or what we would call a home equity loan, which is more of a fixed rate equity option in the broker world. So again, remember, as a mortgage broker, I have access to literally almost every single program with almost every single lender across the country that you can imagine, all with wholesale pricing. However, it does not mean in these specific nuanced situations we're always going to be the best option, because when you're in a community that has credit unions inside of that community, they're put there specific to lending short-term financing or fixed, home equity line of credit options to the community as part of them being a depository in that community. So that's another scenario too, where people, if they come to me, hey, Mario, I want to take a look, tap into some equity. I don't want to refinance my mortgage because I have a 2.99 interest rate, but I want to tap into some of the equity. A home equity line of credit or a home equity loan, HE loan, will definitely be a great option. And I always tell
Mhm.
them to first, because I know it's already going to be a very, very competitive alternative, or primary option, is to go and check with the credit union first. Okay. I do that because I'm always trying to get them the best possible situation, whether it's me that's doing it, and getting paid to do it or not. The
Mhm.
third, this is the only other, there's three of them: the builder, the HELOC, and then this one, jumbo loans. Okay. If you have a client that's purchasing a house with a loan amount greater than, I would say, about 2 million, okay, which is a lot. There's actually, I don't even know if, what is there, like less than 5% of the inventory here in town that would be
Yeah.
a purchase price north of 2.5 million or so. Like,
Yeah.
not a ton.
It's not. And most people who have that are paying cash
E-
for homes anyways, but
Exactly. But in the case that you're looking for a jumbo loan or something larger loan amount type style, again, same thing. Depository, a lot of times Chase or Wells Fargo, if you have an existing relationship with that uh, bank, again, assuming that if you're a high net worth individual, you do already, is going to have another sharper, different type of option for jumbo pricing. Those would be the only three times that, again, I would pivot away from a mortgage broker, even as a mortgage broker myself, or at least consider
Mhm.
an alternative. And because, again, I'm the real deal, spitting facts all the time, I might be the one sending you there because I want to see you get the best possible deal. So, what do you think about
That's
that, out of curiosity?
I love it. And I think, you know what? I'm a big believer. And when you do right by people, it does come back to you. And that person's going to remember you down the road, whether it's a referral that they give
Yeah,
to you or if they come back and give you business. I mean, doing right by people is the way that I do business as well. And I just think that, yeah, I lose out sometimes, maybe because I don't tell people what they want to hear all the time.
sure.
It's more truth, and they want to go with maybe somebody who's going to tell them that they'll sell their house for $75,000 more than what I told them. But like,
Oh, yeah, that's
you
true.
know, the house that's on the market for 6 months and whatever. So I lose those deals sometimes, but in the end, they're going to remember what the house actually sold for, what I had told them it would probably sell for, and it'll come back. It
100%.
always does. I just believe in being honest and being ethical and doing the right thing by people. And I know you do that. I see you do that. And it's just that's why I chose to work with
Oh,
you
thanks, man.
as a preferred lender because my clients mean the world to me. Most of my clients end up being my good friends.
Absolutely.
And who I refer them to is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So it says a lot about me and who I am. And so no, I appreciate that. And I do like that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially when, it's different if you're a person in a call center in another state that's just taking calls, doing transactions, and, every person's a number on a piece of paper, right? But when you're in the, and I tell this to a lot of people actually, when you're in the community that you are working in, right? You grew up there like I did, born and raised here in this exact community, and I'm available and accessible in the community. I go to these restaurants, I go shopping. Just like you guys, I need to make sure that I'm doing my absolute very best for every single person in the community, right? I don't want to ever show up to a dinner with my mother-in-law and my wife and then some guy being like, that's the guy that's, you know what I mean? Like, no, like this is for you guys, for the community, for us, you know what I mean? Us meaning all of us that live here, to win, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
That's
it's just
awesome.
different. Don't ever be a transaction. I hate transactions. I don't even like the word transaction. Like, just be. build those relationships, because I'm sure too on your end, Marie, we work with a ton of different people from every spectrum you could imagine, from attorneys, judges, doctors, a first time home buyer that just got out of college and just started their very first job, people moving from other states that have no clue about our community, like everyone you can think of. And we're able to do that because we are relationship based, not transactional based.
Exactly. Yep. I love to think that that's what sets me apart from a lot of realtors that are just counting the dollars. It's
Ugh,
not,
yeah.
I honestly, like, I know this sounds crazy. I don't even compute how much I'm going to make on a transaction. And just like Mario, we do not make any money unless the house closes
Right.
with real estate agents. Sometimes I don't know if people understand that too. So, as I'm driving clients around and showing them homes, I have zero income from that until the house closes. But
Negative
I
income. You might
honestly,
have negative
I
income actually.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I like, but I don't ever compute my commission until like I'm getting ready to do all the final paperwork that I have to submit to my broker. Part of it is because I really don't ever want the commission to reflect how I either treat somebody or what I'll do for them, how I'll go above and beyond.
Yeah.
I don't want to think in my head, oh, this commission is this, so I'm going to do extra. I treat my clients the same, whether it is a $150,000 townhouse or a $1.8 million home. Like I just don't see that. And so we're not everybody is like that. A lot of people, they won't even touch a $150,000 condo purchase. And to me, I don't understand that, because that $150,000 purchase one day could be an $850,000 purchase down the line. So it's like, why would you not build relationships with everybody and help everybody?
Exactly. And you
And I know you're like that with mortgages. Like there's not
totally.
a loan too small.
Yeah, because to me, I try not to focus on even the exact, this is the loan I'm getting paid. You know what I mean? Like I am seeing each and every opportunity as just that. It's my opportunity to build a relationship with the client, with my real estate partner, with the listing agent, with the title company, to grow my business by the referrals that I'm going to get from a job well done from this exact client, that will then turn
Yeah,
into 2 deals, 5 deals, 10 deals, a lifelong relationship, whatever the case may be.
exactly.
Yeah, in more of which again, what we do is still technically a sales type of job, right? It's not, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because it's our career and it's a little focused a little bit differently, but it's still a sales job. In a hyper focused sales job, there's something called commission breath. I don't know if you've ever heard that like terminology before.
Yeah. Yeah.
People can feel that when you're only doing work for an end result or goal, when you're focused only on the commission and the money that you're going to make from that person. It is, to me, like the most, like, I don't know, makes me not want
It's
to
yeah.
work with someone
It's
more than.
like used car salesman-ish, you're like,
Yeah, don't commission breath your client. And then one other pro tip for new agents too, or new people in our industry, or really any industry, but definitely ours. This one's very important: is do not cash your check until that check is in your account.
Oh,
Like, don't start spending that money
right.
until it's done. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes, that's great advice.
because man, I see people. I have agents of mine sometimes that tell me, "Oh man, I got 1.5 million in escrow right now," and I'm like, "That is phenomenal." But like, let's make sure that we are closing. Let's make sure that we're getting this through the. You know what I mean? Like escrows are.
Don't go buy your Ferrari yet,
Yeah,
buddy.
man. Escrows are phenomenal, but fundings are where it's at. So let's make
Yes.
sure we get everyone to the finish line. Okay, so that was all fun with work stuff. Just real quick, what's going on with the fam? What do you guys have planned for 2024? What's going on there? I know that you guys are big, obviously, big sports family here in the community. So what's up?
Yeah, so well, we spent our Christmas to New Year's doing some fun stuff. We did a staycation kind of thing and saw shows and like did the whole Vegas thing, got the kids down to the strip, went to the art museum and just did some really fun things with the kids, kept them busy all through Christmas break.
Yeah,
The sports were kind of on the down low. They didn't really have practice and stuff, so we really took advantage of that because the kids are, they leave for school at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and they don't get home sometimes until 8:30, 9 o'clock with their sports and their training that they have.
I remember
So I
those
have
days.
4 boys, and one girl, and they're all into their sports. The 3 boys play football. And then my daughter's a competitive cheerleader in the area, and they're busy.
Yeah.
It's all year. It's crazy.
100%. And you guys did like a family Olympics game this winter that I was actually following along with on social media, which I loved.
Yeah, it was so fun. So it was my husband's idea to do it, and we had like a different game or a different event every day, pretty much every day. A couple days we skipped because we had so many plans, but we did things like spike ball and basketball, like, and then bowling. And then he had these different bowling things where we had to bowl backwards or bowl blindfolded,
Mhm.
so that it was more competitive for Nevaeh and I, because obviously the boys can pretty much beat us in everything.
Right. Because 'Cause they're
Um,
giants.
so yeah, they're big and
Right.
they're athletic, so but it was fun, and it got like the competitive juices flowing in all of us, and that was a lot of fun. We did come up with the winner, and so the winner got a $200 prize, and he of course gloated, with everybody
That's
because he got it.
That's
So
hilarious. That's awesome. Yeah, like I was truly honestly following along on like Instagram and Facebook, kind of like what the new event was for the day or who was winning. It was pretty funny actually. I liked it. So good job.
yeah, we
Um
got to change it next year though. We need more like cooking and like girly stuff being added in, because it was
that
very
would be
highly competitive.
hilarious too, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll even it out a little bit.
Do like a cheer and tumble routine or something like that. That would be
Yes,
hilarious.
let her beat them all.
Totally. Okay, yeah. So maybe the last thing we can talk about a little bit about is our spouses, because I feel like, especially with us as community focused, community driven, community, so on and so forth. It also comes into play with our spouses. Like, what do our spouses do here in the community? Like, because equally, like I am involved in my community, I feel like my wife is. She's like the most popular person I know without even trying. Like, it's crazy because
I love it.
yeah, like my wife has been in the service industry. She's a bartender for many, many, many years, even from when she moved here to Las Vegas from Bowling Green in college. So she's been in the service industry a long time. So with that, especially here in Las Vegas, in the service, this is a service-based community, anyways.
Yeah.
She just has all of the connections. She's very involved in the community. She's just she's too cool for me. But what about
She's got to be in the know with like a lot of stuff
She's
too,
yeah,
being
she
in that.
honestly is. What about on your end? So tell us a little bit about your hubby.
Oh, so my husband, he started in Las Vegas as the athletic director for Bishop Gorman back when it was on Maryland Parkway.
Yeah.
So he started his career as an NFL player. He played for the Detroit Lions, who I am so proud of right now. They
Right.
are in the playoffs,
Hey.
and that's my team. That's my jam. So he played for them and then tore the ACL in both of his knees within
Oh,
6 months of each other, and he was done. There was no coming back from that. Got the job at Bishop Gorman as the athletic director, and I don't I brag on my husband because I can, but Bishop Gorman wasn't really on the map for sports and stuff before he got
yeah.
there. And this is the reason why. It's not like he has this magic potion that he came in and sprinkled and all of a sudden they were phenomenal in sports. He changes the culture where when he goes to places,
Yes, I love that.
and he builds relationships, and he made the coaches all know, it's not about your wins and losses. We're to be building men of character, women of character. When you build that and you have that, the wins come. And so that's what he did.
Mhm.
And Bishop Gorman started getting on the map with not just football, but all sports. Back in the day, they're well-rounded now, but they were amazing back then. This was back in 2001 to 2007.
Yep.
And then he got offered a position with Modern Day in California and went there as an assistant principal in charge of athletics, and kind of did the same thing, just brought a different culture, and was very successful there. But then went to Ohio. So, and you know that I was in Ohio
Yeah.
for 7 years and did that at a school there called St. Edward High School.
Which is
And
the
then
sports school there, by the way.
I'm
If
sorry,
people don't know, that is the sports premier sports school there. So
in
yeah,
Ohio,
yeah.
yeah. And so, he's taken this way of being a servant leader and just kind of leading behind the scenes. He's not a in your face kind of guy. He leads behind the scenes
Mhm.
and has done that at all the different schools that he's been at. And there was an opportunity for us to come back to Vegas, which we always wanted to come back to Vegas. Like, this is where we wanted to retire.
Yeah.
We love, love, love Vegas. And so Bishop Gorman had a teaching opportunity and asked if he would come back and teach. And so that's where he's at. He's teaching back again at Bishop Gorman. I have a son at Bishop Gorman who plays football there. And it's just so great to be part of the community, here. We've been to California, Arizona, Ohio, grew up in Michigan. And I will say there is nothing like a Las Vegas community.
Mhm.
I think because so many people are transient here from different places that you don't have a whole lot of extended family, and so you cling to one another and you want to build your community within your friends and in your smaller community. And it's just it's a fantastic place to live
I
when it comes to community, everything.
I agree.
So yeah, so now he coaches freshman football. He teaches at Bishop Gorman, and who knows what the future holds, but we're just happy to be back.
Yeah, it's such an amazing story, like, before, then after, then coming back, and just how it aligns too with, like, me is also super duper weird because I went to St. Vitor, through elementary school. I did not go to Bishop Gorman, like, during, like, high school years, but this is also my timeline of high school, right? So, a lot of my friends that I grew up with either through St. Vitor, growing up through that school, playing baseball here in town, so on and so forth, that went to Bishop Gorman, it's all during this either 2002, 2000 to, like, 2004 or 5 timeline. So many of my friends, I feel like, know your husband or grew up with your husband or played football for your husband or whatever. And
Mhm.
just since meeting you guys, and I just recently met you this last summer, you know what I mean? So it's still a relatively new relationship. But the more people that I talk to you guys, talk about, see us doing content together, whatever, you're like, dude, Maria, and tell me about your husband. It's just hilarious, dude. Like, I can't even get
I
away
know,
from it.
and our connection in
Oh,
Ohio.
totally.
Like,
Yeah. It's insane.
your wife's sister,
Yeah,
right?
sister-in-law, yeah,
Is
it's my sister-in-law, her brother's wife, yeah.
wife. Yeah, I mean, we have a connection there. It's crazy.
It
I
really
love
is.
how stuff like that
It
works.
really is, but, again, just remember, if you're moving to Las Vegas, Henderson, somewhere here, just remember how small of a community and town that it actually is. We might have 1,000,000 or 2 how many people do we have living in the Las Vegas greater area, would you say?
I think we're close to 3,000,000 already.
Dang, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, what
it's getting up there. But I will say, never burn a bridge in
No,
Vegas.
do not do that, that's where I was going, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't ever do it because everybody knows everybody who knows somebody, and
Yes.
it's better to walk away from a situation and keep your dignity and your integrity than to piss somebody off because it's going to bite you one of these days.
100%. Do whatever you can to always do right by the people that you're working with or working for. Because, like Maria
Mhm.
said, this is one of the smallest towns that, granted, I might be a little biased. I'm born and raised here from here. But from all the places I've ever visited, this is the one where I can say, like, we all somehow know each other, or you're at least within
Yeah,
a degree or two of knowing each other. So
absolutely.
cool. All right. Well, that was 45 very fast minutes. I want to let you get back to the grind. And if you need me, of course, let me know. But what else? Anything you wanted to end with?
No, that's it. Just, I'm excited for 2024 and for the people that are thinking of listing or buying. Like, I would love an opportunity to meet with you and
Yeah,
talk with you and see if I would be the right fit for them for the real estate transaction. And absolutely 100% I'm on board with Mario. He's one of the best ones out there. So grab him if you can and get your pre-approvals going.
hey, right. Yeah, definitely try to make sure if you guys are even remotely considering you have a lease coming up in the next few months, 6 months, what have you, or you believe you're in a position to consider, have a conversation with us now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to stress, and again, it's non obligation. Like, there is no, it's just a resource to help you, figure out stuff ahead of time. You never want to be behind the 8 ball when you're looking to purchase a home or even have an opportunity to. So, yeah, and I know you work like that too, Maria. So it's like no pressure, no stress. Like, we're
Oh,
just
yeah.
here to help. Like, I'm just here to like serve the community again, like I'm saying. So, all right, cool. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure we'll jump on here again in the next week or two. And yeah,
All right.
keep
Thank you
keep
for
doing a great
having me
job.
on.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you. All right.
All right,
Bye.
buddy. See you guys.